Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talking about home effects, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. Between the headlines, my name is Dennis Jai, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. In this edition, we're going to be looking at something very important. 2 years after the passage of the dual citizenship law, today, or rather tomorrow, this weekend, is going to make it 2 years since dual citizenship was signed into law by President George Manneh Weah. So I have with me those who were working behind the curtains to make this happen. That is the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. They want to celebrate this day because it's been 2 years since. We also want to look at what has been the impact, what is working, what is not working, what is it that we have now, and what are some of the next steps, what you're going to do next. Is that it? Or we're going to still keep working at other issues and other laws to be passed. Let me welcome first Mr. Eminent Emmanuel Sonnyboy Weti, the chairman of Dual Citizenship and a Dual Citizenship advocate. He's the chairman of the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. Eminent Weti, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. ULA's headquarters is in Washington, D.C., so we have the president of the Liberian community in the Metro DC area, President Professor Wellmont Campbell Mashanini Red. Welcome.
Thank you, but I'm not representing EULA in this. I'm representing the Liberian Community Association.
That's what I said, yes. That's the Liberian Community Association of Metro DC. It's the president, because things, there's a lot of work that is done in DC. So if we want to look at dual citizenship, we want to see how things are with DC. Let me also welcome former president of EULA, Mr. Gay D. Sled Jr. He also, I believe it was anyway, he's going to talk about that, but he has his fingerprints on ACO. Welcome, Mr. Sled.
Thank you, and thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you. Last and definitely not the least is Mr. Willie Kamara. He's the chairman of Colossus. That's the Liberians in the southern states. Mr. Willie Kamara also has worked on dual citizenship. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Let me welcome all our viewers from across the globe. This is Focus on Liberian. We are talking dual citizenship. Dual citizenship law is passed. It's law now. We have dual citizenship, and it's been 2 years since that has been passed. Let me invite Mr. Eminent Emmanuel S. Weti, who told me that, he said you are celebrating. I said, okay, come and celebrate on FOL. Mr. Weti, welcome again. just an introduction of what we're here for and why is it important that that you celebrate this day. Why are you celebrating?
Well, first thing I want to start to say that FOL started with us on this journey. Long before people recognize us, you gave us a platform. So it's important that it's an honor to come back home and celebrate and say, look, we have done this thing for, it has been 2 years now. At least we want to come and give an account and say, look, this is how far we've gone and what all we need to do. So today, we just want to be thankful to those that joined us, that left us and went to the heavens and went to the great God, that stay with us and that will continue to work with us. Thank to our partners, to our friends, and our supporter and everybody. We want to take this time to tell you what impact the Lord have done and where we're going next. So as the show go on, we'll explain some of the benefit and everything. But I want to say thank you for the opportunity and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Let me go to Mr. Sled too, his introductory remarks, and also a little bit about, why is this celebration important? And,
Thank you, Mr. John. Thanks for having me. And again, I'm the former president of EULA, and it was under my watch when Eminent Wati was appointed by me to carry on this task. So, celebrating the 2-year anniversary, he reached out to me, and I thought it wise that it was a good thing to be on here, and we can elaborate more on how he came into office and how he expanded the dual citizenship and his effort. We can speak on that as we move on, but I'm glad to be here to be part of the history today.
Thank you. Another person who, is Mr. Kamara from
Yes,
Colossus.
sir.
Why is this important to you?
Well, first of all, Dennis, thank you very much for bringing us together in this forum to reflect on this issue. I want to give thanks to our chairman, Eminent Weti, for being very patient, focused throughout the years as we continue to push for this process to come to where it is today. And I thank my counterpart, Brother Sela, who basically, as he mentioned, appointed Mr. Weti for this process. Yes, it's good to reflect. And to the celebration we are about to experience is all about the achievement that we have achieved as a group, collectively. And that's very good to note. So as we delve into the conversation, I want to thank everybody for being here. It's a pleasure to always have people of commonalities to discuss issues pertaining to ourselves and the country we so dearly love. Thank you. Look forward to the conversation.
Thank you. Let me. Oh, Mr. Slay is having issue again. Mr. Slay, anytime you have that issue, just go out and come back in. Maybe that's going to fix itself. But let me bring in Madam Red. Prof, welcome to the celebration. Why is dual citizenship? Why do we need to celebrate this?
Well, actually, the dual citizenship issue, as you know, it has so many aspects to it. And this is, for me, only a first step. So we can celebrate, but this is not enough. I'll stop it there. You didn't hear me? Okay, I'll continue because there are some people who really thought that there should be no dual citizenship. Some people thought that it should be dual citizenship with some conditions, and some, like myself, felt like and still feel that there should be complete, absolute dual citizenship. So, as I say, we can celebrate, but it's still not enough.
Yeah, I'm having some technical issues here. Let me welcome also Mr. Atawiado, who is a former secretary of ULA. Mr. Do, welcome, and let me have your introductory remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Ja. Thank you, my fellow panelists. I'm happy to be here today and to participate in the second anniversary of dual citizenship that is so dear to my heart and that of my kids. As we discuss the second anniversary, we are prepared to provide further information despite the restriction. I think the Liberian people say we can start chewing that one in the meantime while we fight for the bigger one. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go into the meat, right? Because it's been 2 years since this whole dual citizenship bill. Mr. Wati, why don't you give us a short little background and why was this fight necessary? What could we not do that we are able to do now?
The first thing is that the United Nations High Commission on Refugee have commended the people and the government of Liberia for passing the law by eliminating gender discrimination on passing citizenship over. It's a report from the United Nations High Commission on Refugee that commend the government of Liberia that look, now that women have the right to pass the citizenship over to their children. So that's a very good thing. The other thing that we all see is that Liberians are not able to travel home using the ordinary Liberian passport. So if you have an American passport or Australian passport, you can obtain your Liberian passport, go to Liberia with all the visa, and return with your regular passport. The next thing is that Liberians are able to vote directly in Liberia. There's no question about that. They can get a national ID card and register to vote, and about 2,000 Liberians voted in this going elections. And if you look at the confirmation hearing of some of the cabinet members from this current administration, there was nobody citizenship was questioned. All of the cabinet members that were appointed, they went through. I mean, there were some members who in the past, their citizenship would be questioned because their mother is a Liberian and their father is a non-Negro. And that wouldn't be an issue. But this confirmation hearing, there was nothing. Everybody went smooth because this law allows you to not question anybody's citizenship. So we are happy, like the dad mentioned, the professor mentioned, it's just a step in the right direction. There are more work to be done. So, but for now, with the SG, after we are those, we'll be chewing what we have and improve on going forward. But it's not over yet. It's not over yet because we got to do all the country voting. It's not over yet. We got to remove those restrictions. So then we'll be moving forward.
Good. Mr. Slay, let me hear from you too, because you said it was under your watch as president of ULA that Eminent Weti was appointed. So again, this we talk about the history and also what has been the result. I know you are patting yourself on the back now, but what has been the result of this dual citizenship passage to you that you have experienced right here in the States?
Okay, thank you. Before I get to that, let me just elaborate a little bit on the issue of how Eminent Weti surfaced as chairman of dual citizenship. During my campaign as president of ULA in 2011, dual citizenship was one of my platform items to advocate for Liberians. And when I was elected again in Washington, D.C., where decisions are made and binding, I appointed the Eminent Weti to chair the dual citizenship committee. And giving him that responsibility, he grabbed the bulls by the horn, and he was able to reach out to other countries and other organizations to then create what today is called ACOR. So Eminem Wati came in as chairman of dual citizenship, but then he created ACOR as a collaborating partners to help advance the idea of dual citizenship. So today, like you said, I pat myself on the back because the issue of dual citizenship been around long before I came in. But when I came in, it was dormant. So because I lifted in and brought Weti in, and he took the bull by the horn and did what he had to do to get us here today, I'm grateful and I'm proud of Eminem Weti performance. And the benefit that we are getting from it today is that Liberians overseas can now travel to Liberia on the Equal passport and still enjoy the benefit of the country. If they have citizenship elsewhere, you can still use your Equal passport to go to Liberia and be able to return here on your U.S. passport if you have to do so. So definitely those are benefits that we are enjoying. And again, there are other stipulations that Eminem was here explaining in the dual citizenship package that we have to fight. But at least we are at the table. You have to first be at the table before you try to get to the head of the table. So now we are in the door, we are at the table. Now we have more ammunition to bargain for more.
Thank you. Let me go to Professor Red. You are in the nation's capital, and where EULA has its headquarters. What are you experiencing as a result of the passage of dual citizenship law 2 years now?
Well, people say they're happy, and they are, but a lot of people are still apprehensive. They don't want to test the water. They don't want to go into Liberia and try to come out they don't want to go with their Liberian passport and come out with the American passport because they don't want issues at the airport. So there has to be some reinforcement or some maybe statements from the embassy, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, reassuring people of how this can work. So people are still apprehensive. They're still going for visas, even though they have the ability, they have the right to get the dual citizenship passport and go in and out, but they are still using their American passports going and coming to prevent any hiccups at the airport. So I would like to see some processing explanation. How do you do it? Do you need any do you need, when you arrive in Liberia, do you need to go to foreign ministry and get some, anything in your passport? What do you need to do, or you just use it at the airport? We would like to know. My constituents would like to understand that process a little more.
Dennis,
Yeah.
What the professor is saying, that she's absolutely correct. We have been trying to work with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs so that they can have an operational definition of this thing, that it will be put in the paper. But right now, as it stands, and for what we do know, is that despite the fact that it's not written, there's no policy yet, and I agree with the professor that we need to work with the government, ask the government to come up with something very official. But people are not using it, going home with the with the Liberian passport, coming back with a U.S. passport. So yeah, it's working, but I will admit that we have been trying to talk with the foreign ministry to come up with operational definition of what the whole thing is. So the professor is right. We don't have any document, even though we are using it and it's working. So Professor, we will do our best we can to follow up with the foreign ministry, but that's correct.
So that's a good segue to see, since it's been 2 years now, what's working and what's not working, what needs improvement, what needs. Let's have an open discussion and talk about it.
Yes, I want to agree with the professor. Those are also concerned in my state and area where I live, in Chicago and the Illinois area. That's a concern too. People are kind of skeptical to use the Liberian passport to go home with the potential of facing problem when they come back. So I think a clear written outline or documentation with the effort of the chairman of dual citizenship to Liberia, I think he need to prioritize that to be able to get the government to put something in writing so that the people can be at ease to be able to travel on their Liberian or Ecuador passport as a dual citizenship. I think that's a very good concern, and that raises concern in my area as well. So the MNA have additional work to be done immediately.
Mr. Wiado, from your experience, what's working, what's not working when it comes to dual
Yeah, for
citizenship?
me, I'm a Liberian, and the fact that I carry a U.S. passport, my nationality stay is visible in my passport as a Liberian country, as a country of origin. I don't know how we should operationalize this dual citizenship. As far as I'm concerned, there's an act, and there was the first time celebration last year when a State Department representative spoke at the dual citizenship event in Philadelphia. And it was clear that indeed the day is all over. I can remember when the Code of Conduct of the Republic of Liberia was initiated. Many people they didn't think that the Code of Conduct mean well. They didn't mean that because we Liberians, it's just hard for us to test the water. It's hard for us to believe. It's hard for us to run with a policy. But some of us going to take the risk. You see, that's why the fact that these documents are visible in the archive, even in the State Department, yet still some Liberians feel that they are not comfortable in using it. It is their own rights. You cannot undo their rights. But the fact that Liberians, the diaspora, have dual citizenship, and those who are responsible on the grounds in terms of the immigration or the foreign affairs, in operationalizing this particular act, I think we should get on it, and we should make sure that to give the confidence of our people in the diaspora, so that we can take the airwave and begin to explain to them that indeed this exists, the dual citizenship exists. We are not done enough for that. And beginning from the second anniversary going forward, I think the airwave are going to be taken, even on the grounds of the Republic of Liberia. We're going to make sure that we get to Liberia and explain to our people and those, especially in the diaspora, that indeed dual citizenship exists. Test the water.
Thank you. Mr. Kamara.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, gentlemen and ladies, thank you very much. I know Wiado just mentioned about what happened March of last year when we met in Philadelphia, where the U.S. State Department gave us an official statement that says the United States of America have not recognized you guys to be called Liberian Americans. That's the new tribe. Liberian Americans. That's our new name. But behind closed door, we met with Councillor Bernard, And he advised us that now that this has been passed to law, our job now is to sell this to our people. What is next? So as we mentioned earlier with regards to the Liberian government, they have a part to play right here. And that part is we need to receive an official statement from the Liberian government to accept this and this entity that we are talking about. We need official statement. And I wish the embassy would have been represented this afternoon here. But was working. When we started this movement earlier, Eminent Weti and the rest of us as partners listed 5 bullets as to the benefits of dual citizenship. Are we realizing this benefit right now? Well, let me just remind you, if we are, give me a check. Number 1 bullet says, benefit of dual citizenship will bring about connection to native land, meaning Liberians will keep their connection to the land of their birth and family. That's number 1 bullet as a benefit. 2, property right. All Liberians will retain their rights to own property and eliminate family problems over property ownership. Have we experienced that? 3, acceptance. We said Liberian parents, their children and grandchildren will feel reassured that they will belong and are welcome, thereby strengthening their cultural loyalty to Liberia. Are we there? The next one, economic development. Dual citizenship provides great socio-economic benefit to Liberia by broadening the economic base and fostering trade and investment by allowing Liberians abroad to invest their talents and wealth to developing Liberia. The last bullet says reversal of brain drain, meaning dual citizenship will help Liberians to return back and bring their wealth of knowledge from abroad. Is this happening right now? Are these benefits are happening right now?
Thank you.
Oh, you want me to come in, Dennis?
If you want.
Okay. Well, first thing, let me comment first on what the professor said. Where we all know that the law is in place. Liberians with the Liberian passport can travel to Liberia as we speak, go to the airline, use their Liberian passport, go to Liberia. When they get to Liberia, they show their American passport or Australian passport or Canadian passport, and the immigration stamp the passport. So operationally, it's working. We have not had any issue. But what the professor is saying is that we don't have any documentation on that. And that is the problem. Despite the fact that it is working, the government of Liberia have not come out with any official policy on the operational definition of this. So that is a concern. That is a concern, and we agreed. It's something that we've been working on all of the time, but we have not been successful. The people say, "Oh yeah, everything is okay. The people are traveling. There's no issue." The problem that we have in Liberia, until there's an issue, nobody is concerned. So for now, everything is okay. The law is in place. The law is going on. But the professor is right that we cannot keep doing things like that. We need a documentation. We need to be documented and publicized that people can always refer to. Coming back to President Willie, yes, Willie, these things are in place. Liberians are returning home with the skills, the knowledge and resources to replace those knowledge that have been lost, in the past. Liberians are going back home to vote. They are fully participating in the political process, directly. We're all using any third party. They're getting the national ID card. They are registering. We open it. There is no issue. Liberians are buying lands in their own name. They don't have to go through a third party. It's okay. Or a child that is born to any Liberian parent, that child is a Liberian citizen at birth. So these things are working. If you look at the report from the United Nations High Commission on Refugees, they have commended us. I mean, us meaning the Liberian government and the Liberian people for doing such a good job. This confirmation hearing, those that were appointed in President Boyka administration, nobody asked for citizenship. There were some members that were appointed, even though the parents are non-legal, nobody asked them for the citizenship. So the law is working and the law is in place. But however, we're going to be working on more on the country voting. We're going to be working on more on taking all the restrictions. We're going to be working on more on having the government to really document and the operational definition of the law.
Thank you. And that's what I was coming to is because when the law was passed, we had restrictions that many Liberians complain about. And also, election just happened and we are still not voting. So you already mentioned that. I want to hear more about what work is being done. First of all, let me go to Professor Red. To what extent is this are these restrictions and also the lack of out-of-country voting, like Eminem talked about, to what extent are they impacting us right now?
People have to actually get on a plane and fly to Liberia to be able to vote. And that is a big constraint. For example, look at Cape Verde. Cape Verde Island, since the 90s, they put in place their dual citizenship laws. And the laws in Cape Verde Island, in fact, because a lot of the Liberians, well, the perception is that Liberians who are at home felt that those who are coming from the diaspora would be at an advantage. Maybe they will come with more money, and they try to, discourage people from voting for people who are not citizens with the right to run for office. However, in the Cape Verde Islands, they have put aside 6 seats in parliament, in the legislature, for United States citizens who are in the Americas. They have 2 parliamentary seats. You can come right from America, go there and run for those seats, representing, because they recognize that the citizens who are living abroad are valuable. They send money home, like us. The repatriation of funds and the support that comes from the citizens abroad is huge, and they value it. They appreciate it. So they've given 2 seats in the U.S. for parliament, 2 seats in Europe, and 2 seats in Africa, because there are other Cape Verdeans who live in Guinea, who live in, other parts of Africa. So if we were, and of course they have voting locations and what do you call it? Whether you have the uh, booths for voting, they have
The ambassador consulate.
The precincts.
they have precincts, not just the embassy, because the embassy is one, but because there are a lot of Cape Verdeans in Rhode Island, they hire a school. So they have more than one location in the US. People don't have to come all the way from even Rhode Island to the DC embassy to vote. They can stay right in, most of them in Rhode Island, vote right in Rhode Island. Those who are in the DC or closer area vote here. Now, if we could consider some of these other options, it will be a real big step forward. Not only mentioning that, removing the restrictions on offices that you can run for. If you're a Liberian, you should be able to run for any office.
Thank you. So Mr. Sly, I know I will come to the eminent who eat, sleep, and drink dual citizenship. But so what is being done now concerning out-of-country voting, the restrictions? How are these, the Prof talk about how they are impacting also to you? What needs to happen?
Voting is an issue. Before I will go into it, I just want to say the issue we are facing right now in Liberia, from my observation about dual citizenship, is not solely from the government. It's from our fellow Liberians. Because when we leave from here and go to Liberia, for some reason, they see us as threats. They see us as possible replacement for what they are already doing. So they put up the resistance more than trying to get to the government, So, but going into out-of-country voting, personally, I know it'll be a challenge, but it's a challenge that we can overcome with the committee working hard and still being able to go down and lobby with Congress, with the lawmakers in Liberia. I think we can have it done. But it will be a tough fight that will need to be finalized, and the ARCO have to buckle up and fasten a belt in order to have that accomplished. We have to be in the face of the lawmaker. We have to be in the media. We have to request our rights, because we are part of Liberia. We are part of Liberia economy. We are one of the largest transmitters of funds to the continent. So why can't we have a voice from the diaspora as well? Like the professor said, we don't need just the pool to be at Washington, D.C. We have key states. Minnesota or Chicago, for example, is central to about 5 different states. So once we get dual citizenship passed, we can have these different locations to have these things done. But again, we have to do the work first. The eminent Weti and his team have to go to work and work hard. And they will need finances, of course, and they can reach out to all of us, and we can be part of the fundraising to raise money to support the effort. But we got to stay in the media in Liberia. We got to stay in the faces of the lawmaker to push our agenda. That's the only way we're going to have it through.
Thank you. And Mr. Kamara,
yeah.
Anytime we say, diaspora, we think of maybe US, Europe, Canada only, but also like some time ago now, you have Liberians coming from Ghana. I mean, some were even born there. I mean, the accent, Liberian, we have a very distinct accent. So so what is happening is we're different now with different background, the way we speak, the way we carry ourselves. In fact, when I came from Guinea, soon I got there to tell I was Fula, right?
Yeah.
So how
you look like that.
I thought when I saw you first, I thought you were Fula myself.
Uh-huh. So how do we approach this? Because Mr. Sled talk about the so we talk about the diaspora Liberians and the home-based Liberian divide. There is one. How do we even try to soften the ground and solve that problem? That yes, we are not December, we are fellow Liberians, we are not a threat, and then we don't go with the posture of oh, you're here, you ain't go anywhere, you know nothing. How do we approach that?
Well, thank you. It's a psychological issue here, and I'm not going to predict here because I cannot read the minds of people. But yes, it has been a concern about our brothers over there, how the mindset about us when we come over there,
and our mindset about them is not just one way.
Correct, exactly.
Okay.
So what I think we can do when we get over there, or we should not be brag to say, okay, oh, I am an American, I have a US passport, this, that, because that can quickly turn off the mindset, say, okay, they are here to, they have the resource to take this, to do that, and so forth. So we just have to use our mind, our psychological way to approach our brothers and sisters. We know they stay behind during the war, and most of us are fortunate to be on this side of the wall, even though it was not our choosing, but we are here. So we should understand how they think about us. Be humble, and basically, let's create a brand new humanity amongst us. To me,
And I think
that's the approach.
Just to add a little bit to what he said is what we can do to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
In bridging the gap, we have to go to them.
Yes.
Because at this time now, we may need them more than they need us. They are already on ground.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to see how we can set up a conference in Monrovia to invite like the Federation of Liberian Youth and other Liberian organizations in Monrovia, similar to EULA, that we can hold a conference and help to educate them. And they can ask questions, and we can answer the question, interact with them, and let them know, look, we are all Liberians, we are all one, and not going over there and feel that we are superior over them. Right. So hosting a conference in Monrovia, I think it will be one way that we can bridge the gap between us and them.
Thank you. Mr. Weirdo, okay, go ahead. Mr. Weirdo, you keep looking up. Look at me.
I'm looking at you, man.
Yeah, you look like you are looking up. Mr. Weirdo, when you went there, were you called December? How did that make you feel?
I'm not a December. I'm not a December, and it's very unfortunate that we categorize the rejection of Liberians in the diaspora by Liberians on the ground. Liberians on the ground, that is not my sisters, my brother, my family, your sister, your brother, family. It is our own friends who feel within themselves that they have a challenge when they see us. Our own friends in the national legislature. You know, they come here, we give them the platform to take them around, discuss about our country. But when we get there, it's a different ball game, my brother. You just have to be a guy who will be focused on the agenda. The second anniversary is necessary. There is retooling our advocacy, making sure that we get to our folks in the national legislature. This means nearly every month, 2 to 3 times, we have to appear on radio. We have to make sure that we are in the newspaper, advocating for this and allowing our people to know that their brothers and sisters abroad are coming. We are still brothers and sisters. People in Africa, in Ghana, for instance, ULAC, you know, Ja, the good thing about our advocacy is that many people don't know we have an office in the foreign ministry, the diaspora office. That office was created by us. It was because of us that office was created. During the Madam Johnson Sirleaf time. The fact that we have a diaspora office gives us the opportunity to even start discussing about representation in the national legislature, as Professor Red said, with other countries like Cape Verde, even Ethiopia have representation of the diaspora in there. So the work begins at this at the second anniversary. We should not sleep on this. We have our people on the grounds. You can remember when the proposition went on, the proposition won. It was a tough thing because it went too late, too late. We just left last minute to town. It went too late to educate our people. So I was asking my sister, I said, also, you say, we say this, my sister said that we are start joking here. And that's what she said to me, and all of my nieces and other people. So it is left with us. And one other thing I want to correct, that we surrounding the chairmanship of dual citizenship. And
we'll get to
that. No, I don't want to make that correction quickly. We'll get to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Gessler represented EULA. There was a conference in DC. Gessler represented EULA, and Gessler put forth WETI. And there were all countries, Liberians from all countries, FLI and other places, they were at that particular conference. It was the conference that decided, the conference of those guys, the representatives, including EULA representative, who decided on the actual chairmanship of WETI. I don't want to make it because I was at that particular meeting. I don't want to clarify that.
Thank you. We'll get to that. I want us to talk about, what,
all right.
Professor Reverend wanted to say something, and then I can go to Mr. Wetty on the actual steps being taken as the next steps. You wanted to come in?
Yes. It's not productive for us to blame each other. People in Liberia may be apprehensive about people coming from the States with an air of arrogance, feeling that they have opportunities, they can get jobs, they get paid, and they can come up and down. They have a sense of freedom. So people in Liberia, they have a sense of, they have some apprehension about how Liberians from, what are you calling them now? What he said, the new tribe is like Liberian American. So we got American Liberia. We got he's called a new tribe, okay? And it's really something where a friend of ours who passed away, David Dewey, he went to Liberia, and Dewey, I think he was from Grand Jita County, into the States, work and live, had kids, went home. And they say the American papi who just came from America, they call him American. So, just because you are coming from America, it's a whole different persona. You are seen differently, right? And at the same time, a lot of us, we must be honest in our language, in our attitude. We keep saying those people on the ground. We keep saying they are less fortunate. But to tell you the truth, if a conference is held, there's a two-way learning that has to take place, and that must be recognized. There's a lot we have to learn. The Liberian society is different, and a lot of us don't understand it. When we go back, we just condemn everything, and we think that it may have been better at some other time. the Liberian society now, it has people who have a new sense of entrepreneurship. They have a sense of how to survive and get things done in a certain kind of way that we may not understand. And we come thinking that we're coming from the American system and we're going to teach people something and we get it wrong. When we have a conference or when we meet or when we discuss, there has to be mutual learning, mutual respect, so that we come to a place where we are ready to work together for the betterment of the country. And I mean, it's important because just the other day, there was an article someone wrote how the respect that used to be in Liberia a long time ago is not seen. And he was referring to respect for the elders, especially in the indigenous setting, but the respect all around is lacking. Not just for anybody who got big position, anybody who, driving a big car with some lights on it can do anything and talk to you anyway if they're not conscious of being a servant, a public servant. And we are all public servants, so we all have to go with an attitude of learning for the improvement of our people and the betterment of our country.
Thank you. Mr. Wati, we don't have much time. We have just 7 minutes to close the broadcast. So tell me, what are some of the specific steps you're taking now for, the things that we are talking about, dual citizenship or out-of-country voting and the restrictions on the dual citizenship? And, the kind of few we talk about that we're talking about now, Liberians in Liberia, Liberians from the diaspora who think they all that. What are the steps being taken?
The few steps we're taking, first thing that we're going to restructure ICA, asking for a new partner and new membership to come in. They will bring in new ideas and see how we can go forward. We are keeping our links and our relationship with our friends in the House and the Senate. We will be meeting with them very soon. A team of ICA will be traveling to Liberia to discuss the issue of other country voting, discuss the issue of the restrictions, discuss the issue of operational definition of everything. We also planning.
Who are you discussing with?
Oh, lawmakers.
Okay.
Lawmakers, members in the House, members in the Senate, and our friends in the executive. These are people where we remember that most of our friends are still in government, even from the days of President VP Burger. VP Burger is an advocate of dual citizenship, and other people. You got Speaker Kofa, you got the pro tem, you got Darius Dana. We got all of our friends in both the Senate, the legislature and the executive. So we are going to be traveling there, meeting with them, and so for us to discuss the possibility of taking all the restrictions and discussing all the country voting. And we in the diaspora need to unite. We want to make sure the assignment, ACO carry on the assignment in the reconstruction of ACO. We'll be having a board. We'll be having a lot of things going on. So for now, we're just taking it easy. It is not a joke. We are graduating. Now, before I end, I want to say thank you to everybody who has supported us to reach to this end. All the advocates, those that are in the House, the Senate, and everybody. I want to thank you, Liberian people, for supporting us, celebrating our 2 years. And we're looking up to you to move forward for other country voting and taking all the restrictions.
Thank you. My last question here is, you talk about unity. Now EULA has a new president. And from my understanding, the new president has appointed his dual citizenship czar, right? So already I see a conflict there. How do you, are you still the dual citizenship person, or is it someone who is out of EULA? The current EULA leadership is appointed, because everybody I see here is either a former secretary or former. How are you working with the current EULA administration trying to have its own ACO?
Yeah, Dennis, None of us have the pattern for advocacy. None of us yet. We believe that the stage is big and is bigger. We will play our part, and those that see vision, those that see our path will follow us. Those that see the other path will go on. We're not in conflict with anybody. We are not a parallel organization. We have been in existence since 2012. Things happen, and we have decided that, look, we can't keep asking people for money. It's about time that we legalize the institution. We make it a 501c3 organization. Listen, we are in the diaspora. Why can't we take a delegation to go to Liberia to educate our people on voting? Why can't we do the same thing that the Carter Center is doing? And we strongly believe that with the kind of people that we have, if we are a 501c3 organization, we can do those things. We can get grant. We can get many opportunities to do a lot of things. So it's about time that we go to the next level. And those who want to follow will follow. We are not a paradise.
Maybe let me get it clear, right?
Yeah.
Is EULA that appoints the representative to ACO? So is EULA withdrawing you and appointing somebody else? That's what I want to get clarity on.
No. EULA is not withdrawing. EULA does not control ACO. ACO, we are doing other people. I'm making it very clear. ACO is a partnership organization, and like any organization, it goes through transformation. So there were a lot of people that joined ACO and left. There were a lot of people that joined ACO and left because of many things that happened. So we are still staying where we are, and we'll go through our transformation. And as soon the dust is settled, we're coming back to light. And those that believe in the vision and direction of ACO will follow through. I mean, we're not in committee with anybody.
Thank you.
Mr. Dennis.
Yeah, hold on. We have 2 minutes to close, so I want to go around the room for your closing, maybe 30 seconds each, and you can use that 30 seconds to say, whatever you want to say. Let's start with you, Mr. Kamara.
Okay, thank you. I know my brother Ato Wiado just mentioned briefly in that area of
30 seconds.
ALCO. Dual citizenship brought together a partnership. The partnership comprised of EULA, Colossus, IFLA, LICON, LAG, CCL then. This group appointed the chairman of the dual citizenship. It's not one organization. Our organizations can recommend somebody from their institution into the dual citizenship partnership.
Right.
And we are the voters who endorse who is going to be our chairman. And that's what happened in the case of Honorable Wetty, as we had mentioned.
That's right.
In Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
So
30 seconds.
EULA has no right
Yeah,
to
30 seconds. We are closing. Another show is starting. Mr. Slay, let me hear from you too, and if you can comment on that, because if it is EULA that's supposed to recommend the person, and then ACO will choose the chairman. So now EULA is EULA recommending somebody besides Eminent Wetty. But you know about EULA and you know about ACO, so talk to me and close.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I mean, there's a very thin line between the dual citizenship and ACO, because Wetty came in as a dual citizenship chairman for EULA, and he used his own outreach to involve other countries to form ACO. And like the previous speaker said, when we had a dual citizenship conference and the other guys came in, other countries came in, they elected Wetty there to be the chairman for ACO. But he remained the chairman for dual citizenship for EULA. So they cannot appoint someone for ACO. They can only appoint someone for EULA, and then they can seek membership to go to ACO if they want to. But ACO is an institution now by itself that's running the show of dual citizenship.
Thank you. Mr. We are doing your 30-second closing. Ato.
30 second closing. Thank you. Oh, I can recall when Jerome Kokoya was chairman of the Elections Commission. At that time, I was Secretary General. He myself communicated a lot, and he wanted ACO to take on the out of country voting. I still get an email. He told us that we should begin the process of documenting what we want to do and how we want to do it before he left. But I must tell you that I thank you again for this show. This should be the beginning of our advocacy, and all of us that are here, including those who are not, join us, ACO, so that we can push the agenda of out of country voting. We have the platform, we have the tools, and we have everything that is necessary to make sure that this advocacy to scratch all the restrictions and bring in representation in the national legislature, our voting in the diaspora, and making our diaspora office more visible and available to us when the time comes. And again, Mr. Jha, thanks to you for making this platform available. We started it from this platform, and we are here for the second anniversary on this platform. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Madam Red.
Yes, well, I will not continue the discussion on, the EULA ALCO thing. I think it's been explained quite clearly by all of the previous speakers. What I will say is that in going to Liberia to advocate to the legislature and the executive, I would, so you say you want the diaspora to be together. It's important that you get the voices from the diaspora instead of going without hearing, without a conference, without a meeting. There has to be a meeting so that we give the various possible ways that the dual citizenship bill can be developed to be more conducive to our needs and satisfy the needs of the people in the diaspora. So I would really encourage some dialogue, some conferencing, so we put some things on paper and you have something to go and say, the people in the diaspora said this, not ALCO or WETI or anybody. You need to get the consensus by working on the consensus building, because you go by yourself and you go say, oh, that's what the people say, and we have not had any input in your representation, your presentation to the government, you may not get the kind of support you may need.
Just 1 second,
Professor. I'm coming to
you.
you to have the last word. So,
okay.
So you go ahead. You're closing. 30 seconds, sir.
Thank you, Professor. The map that you just put together, what we want to do, we are going to have a diaspora conference that will develop the blueprint for all to go to Liberia. We are definitely we're not going to go to Liberia just like that. So before we go to Liberia, there will be a national conference in the diaspora that will lay out the whole map for everyone else to go, and we'll discuss the plan. I want to say thank you to everybody for their support, and together we can make it. We are just starting. There are better days ahead, so let you not. ACO is here. ACO is a 501c3 organization. We are going to be actually waiting for grant, waiting for support to move us forward. Thank you all for your support. And FOL, always thank you for being there for all Liberian people. Thank you all, our members in the House, in the Senate, in the Executive Marshal, and our friends and everybody everywhere, even those that left. I want to say thank you for your support. May God bless everybody. Thank you all. Second anniversary. Hey, we're getting there, and let's keep going on.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you give me a quick plug, 26, this is 26th month.
Oh, yeah.
July. Please all come to the LCA 26 ball on August 10th, and come to the embassy on the 27th. We're having a big festival there. So we have 2 occasions. Good. Come, let's have fun.
I'm going to get my ticket from you. I'll get my ticket for August the 10th.
I want to invite you to Chicago first on August 3rd. our Independence Day, then we'll come to DC on the 10th. So when I see you in Chicago, I will bring a whole team to DC.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Welcome to Chicago.
Let me also announce that on Sunday, Focus on Liberia is having a virtual Independence Day program right here at 4 p.m. Focus on Liberia selected Mr. Educator Cesar Goya as our orator for this year Independence Day. So you don't want to miss that. It's at 4 p.m. right here live on Focus on Liberia. Again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank our viewers for watching. The show coming next is On Point. That's a political debate. You don't want to miss that. Until then, we close with our song that says, "We are all Liberians." Have a good day and God bless you.
Thank you.
We are Liberians.
Thank you.
Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia, Liberia, Liberia.